We're moving on. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching the video on the Brewers, if you listen to the podcast, you don't have to go anywhere because that was the Cardinals I meant. We're talking about the Brewers now. Our audience ranked the Brewers as the 11th best team in baseball. A little low, but I haven't looked at the full rankings, and I don't remember where I ranked them, but that feels low. But again, I don't know the full scope of it. I guess I would have to look at all the other teams. They finished last year. They lost in the National League Divisional Series. They had a 95-67 win season. They made some early trades last year that really helped them out, bringing in Willie Adames, and Rowdy Tellez helped them out later in the season. They have awesome starting pitching, Cy Young winner on the staff. Jake, what other changes have been made this offseason?
Man, these Milwaukee Brewers are kind of a wagon, huh? They did lose some guys. Avisail Garcia, he's in Miami. Eduardo Escobar, he's a Met. JBJ, remember that trade? He goes back to Boston. Manny Pena behind the dish, really solid. A Brave now. Vogelback's gone. Daniel Norris and Brett Anderson also gone for now. Brett Anderson remains unsigned. They added Hunter Renfroe. Nice. Andrew McCutchen. Nice. Mike Brosseau, mean to the Yankees. Brad Boxberger came back. Pedro Severino, the catcher, fills in for Manny Pena. And how about David Dahl on a minor league deal? Does he find a way? Friend of the show. Trev, this team's bread gets buttered by the pitching staff.
And we got to see these guys just recently up close and personal. Y'all know their names. Corbin Burns is absolute filth. What did Luis Urias say about him after he struck out on 3 pitches?
Just said, I hate that guy.
I hate that guy. There's hatred because he's so good. Behind him, another guy you could say that about, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta, Adrian Hauser, who was looking nasty in the bullpen. You got the lefties Lauer and Ashby. And Ashby's no longer a secret anymore. Everyone knows about this dude throwing bowling balls up there from the left side. It doesn't end there, though, folks. You know the bullpen. You got Josh Hader blowing people away. Devin Williams is back. He's got a new pitch. I think he's throwing a cutter or something like that this year. Go get you some Devin. Brad Boxberger just signed. We saw him at spring training, along with Brent Suter, Jake Cousins, and the lineup is good. And I will give this team a compliment that I think means a lot in the baseball world. This team, to me, is looking like a Rays team, but like with some superstars on it. Like it's a Rays team with like established superstars on it. Go ahead and tell them about like that lineup, James.
Lineup's good, and they did lose some people, which I was just kind of trying to rack my brain about one of the moves. I'll ask you guys in a little bit. They got Colton Wong, short king, like him. They got Willie Adames. We were at camp, and he was the like heartbeat and the energy of the Brewers camp. He'd never shut up in the best way. He was making everyone laugh. Yelich, he's the guy there. Obviously, they just brought in McCutchen. I really like that move. Rowdy comes back. Hunter Renfroe comes over. Omar Narvaez, Locaine, Jace Peterson, and then Brasso on the bench because he's a split guy, right, Jake? Doesn't he just crush righties?
Lefties.
Yep. So it's good. Avisail Garcia, all I remember is the one play where he botched a play against the Giants, like the one thing that sticks out of my brain against them last year. I was trying to look up defensive metrics, which I never trust anyway. Because Renfroe and Avisail Garcia's offensive numbers the last couple years are very similar. I did their offensive numbers 2020 and 2021 combined, very similar. And then I did from 2019 to 2021 combined. The slash lines are like very similar. But Renfroe, is he better at defense than Garcia? That was my guess, but the numbers fully didn't support that. But I don't trust defensive metrics.
No, I mean, Avisail Garcia, he was playing center field for the Brewers a little bit ago. Like, he's a big boy athlete. I wouldn't let that one play stand out in your mind too much. Renfroe's a wild horse out there. He's fun to watch. But I think end of the day, you're kind of right. It ends up being a wash. And Trev, I can't. You said the Rays thing right as I was thinking it, man. Like, if you start a lefty against the Brewers, I think you're going to see all righties in the lineup. If you start a righty against the Brewers, you're going to see a really balanced, nice lineup without any, like, easy outs. You can't take a nap at any part of this lineup. Go look at some of Omar Narvaez's stats, especially for a catcher. Lorenzo Cain in the 8-hole, and that's what's making me really like this Brewers team is that I think one of the things we do when we look at lineups and we look at names, if you saw Hunter Renfroe in the 2 or 3 hole for a team, you'd be like, I like Hunter Renfroe. I don't know if I like him up there. Hunter Renfroe in the 6 hole, that guy's a threat. That guy's a problem. Lorenzo Cain hitting 8th? I don't know what he's still got in the tank, but he's Zoe Cain, dude. He could have something in the tank too. So, like, this Brewers team has depth, balance. It feels Rays-esque, and I think Willy Adames and Hunter Renfroe is also helping that. Mike Brasso. But this team, man, this is a really well-run organization, and that's before we get to the law firm and the pitching staff. So, yeah, man, these guys are good.
They're good, and McCutchen is such an underrated signing. People are just writing that off as a veteran going to this team. Like, look at what he did last year. He had 27 freaking bombas last year. Like, he still got it in the tank, and this is a team, like, you know, when you get around a winning environment, like, you can prolong some of those things. So I think McCutch is going to be really good for them. I'm going to tell people right now, 100%, this is one of the teams I'm considering for taking for my World Series prediction.
Wow.
Like, I am all in on the Brewers. I love this team. I love the roster construction. I love the pitching on both sides. We know they're not afraid to make a move at the deadline. This is a team, they're very smart and tactical with their moves. In saying that, this all, and I think he can take this. This all falls on Yelich. Yelich being Yelich makes this team like a World Series, one of the World Series favorites. And I know him, and I know how hard he works, and I know the drive he has to be that guy. If Yelich gets off to a hot start, look out. This team is going to just run through this division, in my opinion. And this over-under total of 88.5 is going to get steamrolled as well. I'm taking the over because I believe in Yelich. And I think this is a very, very, very good baseball team. Thoughts?
I got thoughts. I'm trying to remember last year. They just didn't hit it all against the Braves in the postseason. Correct?
They had a few moments, but yeah.
World
I'd like
Series
them to make a run.
It was World Series champion Braves, but before they were the World Series champion Braves. So I think, you know, the Braves bullpen hadn't been good all year, but they looked nasty against the Brewers. But by the end of the day, that Braves bullpen was gross. So, and yeah, Milwaukee had a chance. They could have brought it back home to Milwaukee for Game 5 with Corbin Burns on the mound, and they couldn't do it. So
88.5.
They're collecting hardware, just not any team stuff. They got a Cy Young winner. They got an MVP winner. They got, I don't know, there's probably other shit in their bullpen and stuff like that. I think, like, I'd like to see them make the CS.
sure.
They've been so good. There's wild card loss, and then the Braves kind of handled them with ease in the divisional series. So I don't know. I guess that where the Brewers are, they have a lot of talent. I like them a bunch. They have all this pitching. They have all this, and I like what they did in this offseason. And I think it's just like a little bit of like maybe like it gets too trendy if they make the playoffs this year and then have an early exit again, where it's kind of just like, how do we get past that hump? So I wonder. I guess what I'm getting down to is I hope they make big splashes at the deadline in their areas of need. Because I do think they'll win the division, and I think they'll be a favorite because they'll have the pitching going into the postseason. Seems like that's happened the last couple of years.
I thought the over-under was going to be low 90s. Seeing it at 88.5.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Picks up his phone, opens the app.
Yeah, I'm hammering that thing, baby.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of stuff would really have to go wrong, which it can in a baseball season, but like there was a part of me thought that I was going to come in and kind of be like, you know what, sneaky under. Like, oh, the over-under's 92. Like, they'll win 90 games this year. Trev, you kind of hit it on the head. Yelich the past couple years hadn't been Yelich. Like, his projection this year is to have an 826 OPS, which would make him a significantly better baseball player than what he's been, and he can be more than that. And, dude, I look up and down. I see Keston Hura on the bench. That guy still has a chance. Like, if you get injured on the Crew and Hura gets to play, watch out, because he's making noise in spring training right now. I think that guy's a good ball player. Tyrone Taylor did it a little bit last year. They've got depth. They've got balance. They've got studs in the pen and the rotation. That over-under seems low, DK. Jimmy's placing the bet.
Yeah, placed. Now I'm looking at what their odds were to win the division, but they're still favorite there. Why are they favorite to win the division with 88 over under?
The baseball over-unders, they leave the wiggle for a bad season.
Okay. Do we have a fun stat on the Brew Crew?
Your Brewers. Let's see. Corbin Burns set an MLB record in 2021 by striking out 57 hitters before issuing his first walk. Jeez. He also ranked in the top 4 in the league in average spin rate on his four-seamer, sinker, cutter, slider, and he's the only pitcher in baseball to rank in the top 4 on all 4 of his pitchers.
Oh, my God.
Translates to freak.
And he's a nice guy. What happened to this dude?
Really nice.
It's not fair. It's not fair. Hey, let me ask you guys this real quick.
He's too humble.
Do the New York Yankees or the Milwaukee Brewers have a better chance at winning the World Series? So to pick one.
Brewers.
Yeah, the World Series, probably the Brewers.
Milwaukee Brewers are plus 1,600 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and the New York Yankees are plus 900. They're one of the heaviest favorite teams. They're the third highest team. It's Dodgers at plus 500, Blue Jays at plus 900, and the Yankees at plus 900. Those are the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
What did they know?
It's just war.
And
Yankees, go sprinkle on the Brewers for me, please.
Yankees front office just basically played the war game, you know? So, like, I think DraftKings goes off Fangraphs war, and the Fangraphs war likes the Yankees squad.
And Jakey's guy that deserved a little more love. Trev has his hotness corner. I have my guy that deserves more love. If you drink spring training Kool-Aid, he was buzzing at spring training. We haven't talked about him because he just banged up his quad. Luis Urias, the dude that came over for Trent Grisham in that trade. He beefed up. Everyone was talking about it. We saw him take someone up top. That dude has a chance to be just another one of those Brewers guys that just hits, plays defense, and is a low-key stud.
Who was the dude throwing the nasty changeup? Oh, Miguel Sanchez.
Scouts.
His changeup was sick, and he made people look foolish with it. So look out for him. Just saying. We saw some dudes there, and they were using the string on the bullpen.
Schedule watch for the Brewers. I don't think they play a team that has better odds than them all of April. Cubs, Orioles, Cardinals, Pirates, Phillies. I don't know the Phillies odds. One game against the Giants. So there's one. Pirates, Cubs, Reds. So light.
Hot start.
And if the bats take a little bit to get going and you got to face that Brewers rotation and I'd hope the Brewers get off to a hot start. I'd bet on them going pole to pole if that was a bet in DraftKings.
Okay. I still like the Cardinals. I think they can push them. And I think that's good for the Brewers. I'm on this team, man. I am on this team.
Playing the AL East this year, that'll be a good test too. So let's find out.
That's going to be some must-watch baseball. Those pitchers going up against the Blue Jays lineup, like that is going to be something to see. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you this right now: pitching's going to win.
Always
it's
does.
the first time those guys are seeing those. The first time seeing Corbin Burns, he's got the advantage like none other.
God.
There's our timer. 15 minutes. Can you guys hear the incredible amount of carpentry going on above me?
Can't hear anything, and this makes me feel so much better about my landscapers. I feel great now.
I can't hear you guys over what they're doing.
That's insane.
Technology.
Shout out our microphones.
Yeah.
Good job, sure.
Great.
Mario Brothers pipes.
My garage is like up those stairs, and they're just fucking. They got a table saw, and they're just ripping plywood. It sounds like.
All right.
So that's good. Hey, we did it.